Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius there, doing more action figure reviews, and welcome to another review. Now today I'm doing something that I haven't really dipped into, well, that's to say, I have reviewed Turtles figures before. It's just I haven't reviewed any of this scale, and I haven't reviewed figures from this this line. So this is the BST AXN. I'm not sure what the anagram for that is meant to be, but it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series style, BST AXN loyal subject figures. Now, is it loyal subjects? I want to say loyal subjects. Yes, I believe they are loyal subjects, if I remember correctly. Yes, the loyal subjects. So, most of the loyal subjects figures, I don't have one handy. I do not have one handy. Most of the ones that I remember are the smaller scale, kind of super deformed style caricatures that were articulated. Oh, actually, I do have one. If I just bring them out. I did a review from a while ago. These style figures. This is the only other kind of loyal subjects figures I have. This is the Elder Predator from Predator 2. So you can see they do have some articulation, not much, but they are articulated to a small degree. These guys are a good bit more articulated than that, and they're actually in a taller scale. So now I do wish they had gone into a more 3 1/4 inch scale for these, because that would have been cool. That would have been perfect to have these guys in scale with stuff like G.I. Joe and Star Wars and things like that. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, these guys stand around 5.5 inch. So the more are akin to the Masters of the Universe figures. Now, unfortunately, the Masters of the Universe figures are all those kind of big, bulky figures. So the big one. Grab someone at random. Faker. So if I put him into his standard kind of pose that he would normally, or height that he would normally have been. Come on. And clip your armor back on. There we go. It's not clipped on, is it? No, it is not. There we go. His armor's clipped on. Alright, so you can see they're almost to scale. If you do the kind of way they should be, you can see he's a little bit smaller, but he's still, like, this guy's around 5, this is more 5.5. With his head height, he's a little bit taller, just over the 5. But you can see there are more in scale with the Masters Universe lines than stuff like, just bring in Spin Master Batman or Superman, who's 4 inches. You see they do tower over them, which is a shame. So onto the box quickly. So we have the foot is an ancient ninjutsu clan founded in Japan in 1583. After taking control of the clan, the Shuller moved them to New York City and replaced the human soldiers with robots. They may not be the best fighters, but they're strength in numbers. And you have the 31 points of articulation: swivel, bicep, thigh joints, double knee, shoulders, elbows, joints, ball joints for maximum posability. Get in the pit and play. And then you just have an image from the cartoon of the foot soldier and an image of the foot soldier on the cover of the box. Now, they have done other figure lines from like when they first released these figures, they were kind of all over the place with the licensing. So you had figures from Kiss, the band, that is Gene Simmons' band. You had figures from Napoleon Dynamite, which is kind of a weird, obscure kind of thing to have figures for. There was figures for, did they have the Lord of the Rings ones then? I'm not sure. They did a whole Lord of the Rings line of figures. Or not a whole Lord of the Rings. They did a few Lord of the Rings ones. They did a Sauron, and I think they did Gandalf. And then they did kind of random characters. So, like, they have done a Turtles line. They actually have done all 4 Turtles. There's a Shredder. There's a Bebop and Rocksteady, which I do want to get, because the cool thing about the Bebop and Rocksteady is that you actually get components for their pre-mutated form. So you can pop their, I think it's pop the hands off and pop the heads off, and you get like the Bebop and Rocksteady before they were the Mutant Rhino and Warthog, which is kind of cool. So I'm not sure if they might do the same thing with Master Splinter, because I haven't seen them do Master Splinter figure, and that would be cool to get the Hamato Yoshi parts as well as Splinter parts, which would be kind of cool. So onto the figure at hand. So the design and sculpting of this figure is really cool. I actually really enjoy this guy. I did actually pick up two. Now his head is just on a swivel. It says kind of ball jointed, but it's more swivel than anything else. There is a 4-pack set of these guys as well, I think, and I think they're more based on the one of the video games, but they come with some cool weapons. Speaking of cool weapons, it's a good segue into the cool weapons that these guys do come with. So they come with those weird plunger guns. They're supposed to be laser rifles. They have a double grip. They're done in a bright metallic paint, work with black black kind of detailing on them. They have no kind of hole in the trigger finger or trigger guard. They don't actually have trigger finger hands anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference. You get a big spear. Now the spear is very bendy, so just be wary that if you're doing two-handed poses, it might warp the plastic of them, which it has done on this. It has a silver tip for the spear tip. Then it's a brown, I think. I'm not sure if it's painted brown or if the plastic is brown and the tip is painted. But it's a brown plastic handle. It has some wood grain carved into it. I'm not sure if you can see that on the screen, but it is pretty cool. They come with a single katana. I'm pretty sure these are probably the same katanas that the Leonardo figure has. I don't have any of the turtle figures. I just got the foot soldier figures straight off to see what they're like. Mainly because foot soldier trooper army building are pretty cool. So I actually picked up two of these guys. So eventually I will hopefully get the turtles at some point. He does come with an extra set of hands. So the default hands, if I remember correctly, I did swap out the default hands. The default hands are the punchy hands. So you get two punchy hands, two open graspy hands. So you get a corresponding left and right. And that's it for the hands, aside from the ones that he has on currently, which are the graspy hands for holding weapons and holding gear. He also comes with two tiny accessories, which you will have to be very careful about without losing them. Comes with two, I'm not sure if you can see that there. Comes with two throwing stars, if you're just flipping around. So there's detailing on one side and nothing on the other. Or at least, yeah, the one side is flash. And on this one, it's just pretty much the same detailing on both sides. And then, as I said, it has that gun. Now, when you put the gun into his trigger finger, or what should be the trigger finger hand, it will stretch the plastic. You can see the handle for this is really, really big compared to the front handle, and the things for the swords, like the grips for the staff, is fairly small. So since this has had the gun in it, it has gotten looser. If I put it into the other hand, it should be a lot tighter. Yeah, it's a way tighter in the other hand because it hasn't had the gun handle in it for quite a while. You can reheat these and probably push it back into shape, but just be wary that, like, even with the sword, it'll probably, the sword's not too bad. Just the grip on the sword is probably a little bigger, bit big as well. So on to the articulation of this guy. So the arms can rotate all the way around. Just be wary that when it gets up to here, you'll have to splay it out at the side. It won't go straight up because of this collar piece. It is glued into place. It is a separate sculpted piece and glued in place. So just be wary of that. But the arms can go out that much. Can rotate around. There is an upper bicep swivel. There is dual jointed elbows, which is pretty cool. There's no kind of wrist or wrist swivel. Or not wrist, what area would you call that? Just before the elbow. There isn't any swivel there. There is a wrist swivel. There is a wrist swivel with hinges on the hands. I should point out that the other hands all have hinges. They all tend to have the same hinge, so they're all horizontal. So yeah, horizontal hinges. Is that right? Yes. So you have an upper diaphragm joint. I don't think you have a waist one. Actually, you do have a waist one that's hidden behind the tunic here. But you do have an upper diaphragm. It's not the best. You can get a small bit of forward and back, not much. Detailing wise is not bad. There's no peg hole on the back for any sort of backpacks or anything like that. He can kick forward with the legs, which is pretty cool. Can't really kick back too much because of the sculpting on the butt, but you can get a seated position. You can get kneeling. You can, there's a thigh swivel, so you get double jointed knees, which is pretty cool. You can get some kind of cool classic ninja poses and stuff like that. And you can see the ball joint on the leg. You can try and get some kicking poses, and I suppose the best way to do it is just forward kicks. As I said, the head is just on swivel, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to be looking at what he's kicking. The turtles, as far as I know, have way more articulation in the hip area because I think they designed them. But you have that kind of rocker ankle. There's no peg holes, I don't believe. Nope, no peg holes on the feet. So you have those kind of weird rocker ankles. They don't swivel, there's no boot cut. So they're just forward and back, but there is kind of like a ball joint. So you can make it look like his foot is broken off something that he's kicked. But it's not too bad. They get some good posing out of them. You can kind of splay out the legs, maybe. Yeah, they'll reach a point where they'll just pop off the peg. So about that much. So you don't get much splits on them. But they are robots after all. So, you know, they're probably going to break eventually. So overall, they're not too bad a figure. And if I just get him with double-handed grip. See, the grip on the front is a lot smaller than the grip on the actual pistol grip, or the actual handle for the gun, so it doesn't stretch out the hand as much. But you have those really cool pads, and you can get them into some really cool posing. I would imagine these guys wouldn't be too bad for doing stop motion with as well, as you have like a whole bunch of different stuff for them. So there is that, and if you have more than one, they actually look pretty cool together. But you can get some good kind of poses out of them. All in all, not bad figure. As I said, it's my first kind of dip into this line, so I do enjoy what they've done, and it is different to the smaller figures that they've done in the past, and even those kind of blocky figures that they did before those. I was hoping they would finish off the G.I. Joe line. They had the G.I. Joe license at one stage, and I have a couple of the figures that they did for G.I. Joe, like I think it's Cobra Officer. I don't think they did a Trooper. I have the Major Blood figure. I have the Roadblock figure, and I have someone else. Who was the other one? Is it Firefly? I'm pretty sure I have one other figure as well from that. Oh, Blowtorch. That's the other figure I have. So they're pretty cool. I do like these foot soldier guys. There, as I said, there is a 4-pack which I think wasn't a store exclusive, which is why it goes for stupid money on eBay. So just be aware of that. These guys weren't too pricey if I remember correctly. I got this guy from Big Bad Toy Store to have most of the Turtles line either available at the time of this recording anyway, or basically they have most of the Turtles available either pre-order or actually in stock. But they seem to keep a good stock of the Turtles figures. I'm not sure about the other lines. You can be hit or miss which other lines they have. And I do want to get the Sauron figure. It does look really cool. It's actually a good bit taller than these. I think it stands about this height to the this line. So it is a good bit taller than the standard one, and it should fit in quite nicely with 4-inch figures. So there is that to kind of consider as well. All in all, really good figure line. The Turtles are always usually a big seller anyway, because anything with Turtles tends to sell pretty well, and they're based on the cartoon appearances, which people kind of have a good nostalgia for. So again, like me, the foot soldiers, I remember the Turtles mashing foot soldiers. In fact, I even have a whole bunch of other foot soldier figures. I have the NECA ones, I have these ones, which are the old Playmates ones, which if I can get them to stand, it actually stands pretty much close to the old Playmates mutating one, actually, which is kind of interesting. This is the mutating one without the mutate, or with as the foot soldier, and then that's the kind of supposed to be the version of him when he mutates from a robot for some reason. I don't know how that works, but anyway, those are the kind of only comparison foot soldiers I have for these guys. They do stand pretty nice together, but overall, really cool figure line, and I do recommend it. If you do pick them up, as I said, try and keep off the eBay route, because I think they do tend to overcharge for the ones on eBay. But if at the time of this, like if you're watching this recording many moons down the line, that might be your only option. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.